It's been a tough offseason to be a star running back, and I don't think anyone has experienced that harder than Ezekiel Elliott. The former league's leading rusher has worked out with one team that we know of since the Dallas Cowboys decided to cut bait and move forward with Tony Pollard as their lead running back. I think we both will agree that Zeke will find a team, but Kyle, do you think Zeke can still be a contributor on a winning team?
Define contributor, because if he's going to be a 1,000-yard running back getting like 200 carries a game, no, probably not. But I mean, I feel like Zeke was a contributor last year on the Cowboys, right? I mean, Pollard kind of took over the reins as the starting running back towards the middle of the season. And part of that was I don't think Zeke played a full season last year, if my memory serves me correctly. I think at this point for Ezekiel Elliott, he's reached that 28, 29-year-old plateau where running backs, their bodies have been worn down and no one really wants to sign them anymore. I mean, we've all seen the evolution of Zeke going from the six pack and the crop topped shirts at Ohio State to now he doesn't look like he's always in the best of shape. And he's had injuries 3 of the last 4 seasons that have led to him missing significant amounts of time. And at this point of his career, I think the league's kind of telling you that Zeke is not really worth very much at this point. And then there's also the fact that he's Ezekiel Elliott, former number 4 pick and star running back of the Dallas Cowboys, which used to be a positive. It used to be like, well, we can get a little bit of clout for this player joining our team. The retirement home of the Arizona Cardinals used to do this with players all the time. But I guess now that the NFL is a national sport, it doesn't really make all that much of a difference if the star running back of the Dallas Cowboys joins your team, because you're not actually getting much like positive benefits as a result of it, as you probably used to. So I guess that's not a boost that's working in Ezekiel Elliott's favor, which is the popularity points of him joining the Cincinnati Bengals per se 15 years ago, and them getting the popularity boost of being able to sell jerseys and whatever else. That doesn't really exist anymore in the NFL. So at this point, you're just judging Zeke based on his merits, and the league's telling you that he does not have much merit.
Well, we know the one team that he has worked out with was the New England Patriots. That was a couple weeks ago as of this recording, and we still haven't seen any traction on that. Ramondre Stevenson is the lead back there. Do you like that fit if Zeke was to sign in New England?
Maybe. I mean, New England wants to run the ball a little bit, and Bill Belichick's the original just get 5 running backs and they're all interchangeable and they're either all white or named white. That is the formula that Bill Belichick's been employing for 15 years. So I guess adding another running back into the mix wouldn't hurt. I guess speaking of hurt, I'm looking at Ezekiel Elliott's numbers, and you have a full season in 2019 and then 15 games in 2020, a full 17 game season in 2021, and 14 games last year. So for Ezekiel Elliott, it's relatively good health, but you've seen kind of a slow, precipitous drop, not just in the amount of yards, but the number of yards per carry for Ezekiel Elliott. Based on the numbers, I think he would be a good backup for the New England Patriots at this point, headed into his age 28 season. But I guess, and I know it's kind of crazy to say, I guess I would prioritize Ramondre Stevenson if I'm New England. I know they don't have Damian Harris anymore, but they've got they drafted someone in the draft this year also who's on that team.
So their current depth chart reads as Ramondre number 1, Ty Montgomery, who's still in the league, is their number 2 running back, Pierre Strong Jr., and Kevin Harris. So I think what Zeke could bring to the team is certainly like an edge at running back. Like, you know, if you need a strong goal line back, like one thing actually that's kind of come to light that's funny enough, if he ends up back there, the Dallas Cowboys, they're kind of struggling to get short yardage situations, which I think that Zeke still provided to that team a little bit of a punch, because Pollard, obviously, he's more known as a speed back, you know, hasn't had a lot of carries in his NFL career. And then you look at what they got now at the backup position with Deuce Vaughn. Deuce Vaughn's a spark plug in your backfield, certainly, but 5'5", he's not exactly going to move the pile whenever you need to get that extra 2 yards or so, you know?
Wasn't that what Zeke was saying in the offseason too? He was putting it out there via his agent and via leaks that he's like, hey, I'd be happy to come back to the Cowboys. I'm willing to take a pay cut. Because the alternative option was he just gets cut. So it was either take a pay cut or get cut altogether. That's what happened with Joe Mixon and the Bengals too, by the way.
And wasn't the
Bengals
report
forced
also
him to take a pay cut?
The Cowboys felt like they didn't want to insult Zeke with the offer? Maybe that was a cop out, but that's something that they definitely said after they let Zeke go, that they didn't want to insult him with a low ball contract offer, which is probably what he's worth now.
Really, they didn't want to insult Ezekiel Elliott after they turned him into a meme for the rest of time in his last game ever and his last snap
That,
ever
in
with the Dallas
fairness, that
Cowboys.
was Kellen Moore. He's gone now.
Yeah, but the Jerry Jones loved Ezekiel Elliott. Like that was the whole thing, is that Jerry Jones had this fascination with Ezekiel Elliott becoming the old school face of the Dallas Cowboys, a running back who could churn through the backfield. And remember, Ezekiel Elliott was picked with the 4th pick in the draft. He was as big a running back prospect as there had ever been going into that 2015 or 2016 draft class. And during his contract holdout years ago, Jerry made it clear, we're going to get him done. We're going to get it paid. We're going to get Zeke in the huddle. Like he really wanted Zeke to be a fundamental part of this team. And he gave him $90 million on that contract. Now, Zeke only got to see the guarantees from what I understand of the contract, which was around 40 something million. But I mean, at the end of the day for Ezekiel Elliott, at this point, he is a backup running back. I don't know exactly why nobody has wanted to pick him up at this point, given that he is at the very least still a serviceable NFL running back. But in addition to being 28 years old, I've got his stats here. He's got 322 rush attempts, 242 in 10 games, 304, 300, 244, 237, 231. Like they have been really, really grinding up Ezekiel Elliott during these 7 years that he was in Dallas. And so at this point, there might not be a whole lot left other than to make me feel old, realizing that Dak and Zeke are in their 8th season together with the Cowboys, considering it felt like just yesterday they were the rookie of the year tandem that won 13 games and got the #1 seed in the NFC.
Now, again, I want to reiterate, I think he's going to find a team because we just played the first week of preseason games. There's going to be some injuries. There's going to be some running backs that get banged up as things go along. And every year, you're still going to see a veteran running back get signed like Zeke to help a team. Remember, Melvin Gordon last year ended up signing that contract with the Chiefs and ended up getting a Super Bowl ring out of it. LaShawn McCoy, again, gets a Super Bowl ring with the Chiefs, ironically enough.
I saw Latavius Murray running for like 3 different teams last year. It was crazy. He played 2 different London games, one with the Saints and one with the Broncos.
It was literally a year ago that Zeke was running for 1,000 yards. Now, I think the biggest thing about that is the yards per rush keep going down and down. So his efficiency isn't there, but he still can pick up yards. He actually is a pretty decent pass catcher still too, which is something that a lot of these like running backs later in their career can't really say. Michael Turner, that's what, Zeke, I think ideally would be for an NFL team at this point, like a Michael Turner. Again, push the pile, get us a few more touchdowns than we could in short yardage situations otherwise. Remember, even like Todd Gurley, as banged up as he was, still got double-digit touchdowns his last year with the Falcons. That's what Zeke could be.
Yes, but the only thing I'll ever remember from that Todd Gurley Falcons season was that he accidentally scored a touchdown when he was supposed to go to the ground, which then led to the Detroit Lions scoring a game-winning touchdown drive in the last 40 seconds of the game.
I will give Todd Gurley a little reprieve. Come on, Falcons defense, do better. We scored a touchdown. You should hold your lead. Hold your water.
Yeah, that was the most Lions-Falcons game of all time. It was incredible. But I mean, you just mentioned like the Michael Turner role for Zeke, and I think that's a great comparison. And just thinking of like the teams who probably would need a Michael Turner type of back right now. I know Samaje Perine now plays for Denver, so maybe the Bengals are looking to fill a need there. Obviously, the Patriots were interested in Zeke, so they're clearly looking to add more running backs
the
here.
New Orleans Saints,
Minnesota.
Alvin Kamara just placed on suspension.
Yeah. That would be an interesting combination there. I was going to say Minnesota with Alexander Madison and not a whole lot else in that running back room. Maybe they have like Ty Chandler, but still like putting Alexander Madison as the lead back is an interesting strategy going into the season. So yeah, there's a few options out there that we think could be fits, but I mean, there's obviously no place where we're going to see Zeke getting 231 carries like he had last season with the Cowboys.
No, exactly. He's definitely a role player at this point in his career. Long gone are the days of superstar running back Ezekiel Elliott. But anyway, guys, let us know in the comment section, where would you like to see Zeke sign this coming NFL season? Again, we know the Patriots are interested. We know there's some interest potentially at a reunion with the Cowboys. But is there a dark horse contender for his services? We'd like to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on all our social medias. From Juju and Kyle, stay safe, happy, and healthy. We will see you next time.